What's up, everyone? My name is Candace Smith, and this is Factabulous Magazine. But honestly, this is just Candace Smith today. I'm just gonna keep it real. I do represent a magazine brand, Factabulous Magazine, and this is a part of the 28 Days of Self-Love Challenge because we're getting ready to close out the month of February. And the 28 Days of Self-Love Challenge started a few years ago, and it was an attempt for me to carve out some time in my life to address how I was loving me. I was looking for love and wanting love from others, but I never really asked myself, how was I loving me? How much did I love me? Do I love me enough to address my issues? Do I love me enough to set boundaries, to communicate properly, to address issues head on, to learn to resolve conflict, learn about my triggers and figure out how to manage them, understand what it takes to be mentally well, the importance of self-care and managing the relationships in my life. So if I had a song that would like be the theme for this talk that we getting ready to have, it would be Drake's Started from the Bottom, Now We Here. When I was sitting and just thinking about this conversation, I just heard it because that's where I was. And I think, I will say that it was dropped in my spirit to kind of keep me uplifted a little bit because it's not easy for me to talk about it. But I feel like that represents a clear picture. Like, I was literally at the bottom, but thank God I'm here right now, able to talk about it, able to like look back and like see myself where I'm at. So, also when I was, thinking about this, the words literally just fell out of my mouth like God prepared a place for me. And so that's why I titled this video, he prepared a place for me. God literally put someone in my life who could see me and help me to address my issues. He answered my prayer with this woman that's on here today. I asked God for help, and when he sent me help, I was resistant. I was stubborn because it felt foreign to be helped. And it felt foreign to address things head on instead of running away from them. The things that were not good for me, when he began to remove them from my life, I missed them. I was attached to them and I didn't see the unhealthy attachments. I didn't see it as being unhealthy, and running away from it was a shelter, so I was just in a very, very low place when I first met Miss Shaquania Walker. And, when I look back at the state of mind that I must have like been in to even for our relationship to transpire. So let me get into that a little bit. Basically, we've known each other for a few years now, and you all are just not going to believe this. So just sit back. I'm just telling you, you're not going to believe it. I literally met her over the phone. We had one conversation, and I made a decision to pack my bags, put my things in storage, move out of my hometown that I lived in my entire life. Never thought I was going to really leave. Wanted to, but never thought I would. Made a decision to pack up and move in with her and her family. That's a lot.
Who does that?
No, right. That doesn't happen every day. And it was definitely a big deal, but it really does testify to the state of mind that I was in at that time. And when I was thinking about it, I said, God prepared a place for me because if anybody would have maybe offered me that, I might have taken it. But God had put someone there at the lowest point of my life to take care of me. And that means a lot. That means a lot. And so, when I say that God prepared a place for me, I literally mean that. I didn't know you. You know, we spoke that one time on the phone, and I agreed to pack up my life, and I stayed with you for months. And during that time, we were able to have therapy sessions. I didn't look at it like that at that time. You know, it just looked like, okay, all of a sudden we talking and we addressing stuff, and I'm getting uncomfortable and I'm getting upset and I may get aggressive.
Giving breadcrumbs.
Right, right. It's like, what's happening? But it was happening, you know,
Yes.
it was just happening, and it was good for me, even though it didn't feel good for me. And, you know, we talked and I learned so much from that time. I was able to address some things head on. And a very important thing, a key thing is that you had a very nurturing and caring disposition, and I was able to relax and I felt safe. I really want to point that out, because a lot of times people want to help someone, but if you can't give them the right environment to even open up for surgery, for the surgery that they have to have, it's
Mm-hmm.
not going to work. But you know, you were really able to do that. So I want to tell you all something about Miss Shaquania Walker. You know, she has some unique set of skills that are just needed in the church as well as the community. It's a combination of ministry, you know, mental health counseling, coaching, and one of the most important things, sisterhood for me.
Yes.
You know, it's the sisterhood. It's the, I really care about you. You know, for me, when you at your ugliest, I really care about you. I see you, you know. So yes, I gotta say that. So she's able to empower women who face rejection issues, abandonment issues, and attachment issues. And these were my issues, and it was through her that I was able to recognize it, recognize who I was, understand how God sees me, and face those things in a real way. And I want to elaborate that, a real way, not in this far off religious sort of way, but in a real tangible way where I could take steps, where I can begin to see and navigate through some things. And so I, you know, just want to give you some time to reflect back, Shaquania, and you know, maybe gain some perspective from this conversation on this end, because it's been about me a lot with our relationship. So you know, how first of all, let me ask you, how do you describe your gift from God?
Um, it's definitely a blessing to be able to be used as a vessel. It comes with pros and cons, of course. Everybody doesn't always want to be amongst someone that knows all the dirty laundry and everything that they're trying to keep covered up and everything they're trying to mask from society. So not always everyone wants to be my friend or, you know, be in my presence because they feel like, oh, what's she gonna tell me now? Or, you know, some people, you know, don't answer the phone when I call because they're afraid because they're afraid that I'm going to tell them something that God has already been, you know, nudging on them to do, or something for them to confront. So, you know, it's not always a good thing being me because I'm human. I'm human, so I have feelings, you know, I empathize with people, you know, so I can understand. So that nurturing spirit that you talked about, I had to learn how to give that, because there are times when I'm like, God, I ain't got time for this. I, I don't have time for this. You know, they must know I got a life too. I want to go shopping. I want to buy shoes. You want me to keep chasing her down?
Right.
So it's those things. So it could be challenging. In the beginning, I had many sleepless nights because I was not knowing, I was running from it. You know, God would put people on my spirit, and dreams and vision, and I wouldn't act on it. You know, so I had to learn to be obedient, to reach out, make that phone call, you know, stop by, send a message, or whatever the case may be. And in the midst of that season, I can say that is around that time, because I was still fresh with my gift, is when you came around. So in that season, I know we'll talk about it a little later, but I actually learned more about myself and learned more from you than you may think that I was helping you. So we were helping each other.
Yeah, I know you've said that before. You know what I mean? It's so hard to see that when you say it. It's so hard to see that because you just don't know how, like, I feel like you was just a key. You know how you say, people say that was a key ingredient. You was a key ingredient into unlocking some major things that I feel like no one else had those set of skills and qualities to just do that, because I always felt that like they lacked a level of understanding or a level of empathy, you know, that I needed to get vulnerable. And it was just the perfect place. That's why I go back to how God, I feel like, prepared a place for me. I know that scripture say, in the presence of my enemies and all of that, and it's great and that's good, but I really have to stop at, he prepared a place for me, because that's what it's all about in this particular scenario, because he really did a place for me to heal, and that's a ministry. That's why I said it's a women's ministry 2.0, because we get into a deeper level and we go beyond some surface layers of discussions that women, have. And it was hard for me to see the issues that I had. Those were not things that was discussed in the conversations that I was having amongst women. So that was another thing that was just very important and very valuable. So what I got to ask this, I have to, I know we kind of talked about it in the past, but I have to ask, what led you to offer your home to me and my children?
Definitely was not my intentions. Nothing I had planned. When I met you, or when I was introduced to you, it was just on me doing my usual. Let me uplift, let me encourage in any way that I can. And in the midst of doing that, like I said, I was still fresh with my gift. The Holy Spirit spoke to me just as plain as day. Just as plain as day. He said, you're going to help this person in a way that's unfamiliar to her and you. Yeah. And I'm like, no, right. no. But I couldn't do it. I couldn't quench it. I couldn't resist it. And I remember when we were talking, and I don't remember exactly what it was that I was saying. And you said, I feel something over my body. I feel like I'm being covered, like somebody's putting a sheet or a blanket over me. This feeling that I'm feeling, I'm feeling the same feeling. So, so I knew then that we were on the same page and in agreement with the Holy Spirit. Yeah. So it made me feel comfortable about the idea, because in that moment I said, God, what can I do? What do you want me to do? What can I do? I didn't have anything to offer at the time. I wasn't working. I was in college, and I have a family of my own. So I'm like, I don't know what else I can do, but not knowing his plans, what he had. He said, oh, you got the goods. Yeah. You just get her here and we're going to work this thing out. And it went from there. I didn't believe, honestly, that I had did that until you actually got to my house.
Yeah. Me too. I didn't believe I agreed to it until I sat down, and it's like, okay, this is it. We here now.
Yeah, you were there. And it was like, it was almost like, I have something in my eye. It was almost like a blind date, Yeah. I had had never seen you before.
Right.
I had never talked to you or seen you before. So not that looks had anything to do with it, but you could have came looking like, anybody, and I would be like, oh no, God, this is
right. Right.
I don't want to bring this in my house around my children, my husband. You could have looked any kind of way, but I saw you just as I saw you on the phone.
Yeah.
With your arms outstretched.
Yeah.
You came to me as humble as I had seen anybody else, and there's no way that I could look at you differently. That was the only way that I saw you. So I saw then in that moment that I had a job to do and I had to get on it.
Yeah.
And it was kind of hard. It was definitely kind of hard because you have to tread lightly with, again, a person that's dealing with something and don't know that they're dealing with something. They can't quite point out what it is that's wrong. And here it is. I have to, day by day, I said breadcrumbs because I had to give you something for you to give me something.
Right.
But I didn't want to just come in and bombard you. And that's why I say you taught me something, because I have an aggressive spirit. I have a bold spirit. And in that moment, I learned the realms of the gift that I have, that I can be every woman when need be. And the spirit can work through me in different ways, because he knew at that time, hey, Q or Shaquania, you need to bring out this spirit. And I didn't even know I possessed that personality at that time. Right. So in that moment, you helped me with that every day when we were talking. Every day I would say it. Hey, you blessed me today. You just don't know
right.
what I got out of it that day.
And I would be on the floor picking my spirits up like, what are you talking about? Don't you see me? I'm a hot mess.
You whatever you was my hot mess in that season. I needed that hot mess in that season.
Okay. I needed it. Well, praise God. So looking back, I know you've been kind of telling some things that you have learned, from that, but okay, so just sum it up. What do you think you learned from our shared experience?
I can do anything. Excuse me. I learned that I can do anything. You weren't the only one that was broken. I may have not had gone through what you went through in that season, but I was going through a season of knowing my worth. Not to say that I was unworthy, but God, how dare you give me this responsibility to do this and be held to such magnitude and level of respect from people, when I in the inside felt like, not me. I'm not worthy. Why me? And he showed me, okay, I'm going to show you. This is why I need you. By way of you coming, he showed me, this is why I need you. So I learned so much in that season, and every day I talk to you, I built up more confidence, within myself, because these are things you're hearing God tell you to say. See, y'all don't hear. Y'all don't hear what it is that I hear, and it was a process, because had God shown me this from day one, I probably would have been in the crazy house, right. no offense, right. to anybody, but because I wouldn't have been able to handle it, right, in that state of mind that I was in. So he had to. This gift has grown very quickly, So just everything that I had experienced, not in that season, not just in my house, with you, but just on the outside, because I was working with other people as well, and I thank you for that. I thank you for letting me know that, hey, you didn't know what you was doing, but hey, you got something. You might got a little something.
Yeah. I feel like you got more than a little something, because this is needed. I see a need amongst the women that I meet, that I talk to, that I just, build relationships with, on whatever level they're at, learning how to address those things that we have not really talked about. And it's been just the process in even obtaining a vocabulary to just communicate what it is. And that part it was just like groundbreaking for me, because it's like, okay, when I couldn't communicate, here comes a temper tantrum or something like that. So just having, me, a way to be able to express whatever it is I was dealing with at the time was just everything. And I feel like we can all be better, because improving that area of my life have improved other areas. And I'm able to see other things outside of just the cycle of depression and everything else that was going on. So, the whole experience, I can't say anything but it was God.
Yeah.
It was too intricate. It was too detailed. It was too woven together so delicately for me to take credit, for you to take, for anybody to take credit. It was just
Right.
like, this was nobody but God. And I'm just grateful. I'm grateful to share it with, everybody, because at the end of the day, what I really want to get across is that you have to let God be God.
Yeah.
No matter where you find yourself at in life, you have to let God be God, and you have to allow him to put people into your life that you may not feel like that person goes there. And I'm just being real. If I would have, like you said, had some time to think about things, I would have said, no. And that's why I said God put me in the state of mind I needed to be in to say yes.
Yeah.
He was playing a role the whole entire time,
Whole time.
because I would have, in my view, I would have looked with my healthy mind and said, I don't need to do that.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
But no, that's exactly what I needed to do.
Yeah.
So
That's definitely, that was a big leap of faith. You didn't drive across town. You came out of town 5 hours away.
5
5 hours away
yes, yes.
to a whole nother city.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So, and like I said, I'm glad that you're moving forward, you know what I mean, to do this, maybe not to this extent,
Mhm.
you know what I mean, but do this for other women. In what ways do you, offer your services to other women?
I offer my services in any way that's needed. There is no particular um, there's no particular subject, and I don't care how unfixable you think you are. Um, I use my gift in an unorthodox way. I'm gonna go where your pastor not gonna go. I'm gonna say what your pastor not gonna say, and I'm gonna follow him, and I come boldly, and determined, to aid you in whatever situation you need to be aided in. Now I can say, as of lately, God has been pulling me towards um, relationships, and that doesn't necessarily mean it's a relationship with your significant other. It could definitely be relationships with your family, your mom, your dad, your job, or whatever the case may be. So I offer my services in helping you to better receive yourself. That way, you know how to conduct yourself around others. So I coach in that area. I give spiritual advice and counseling.
Right.
So yeah.
Okay. Well, I definitely appreciate you coming on here and discussing this. This all happened very quickly. And I'll just tell this little piece, I ended up calling you the other day because I was just in a terrible place, and more I'm understanding the need to, like, okay, if you need help, you need to ask for it, period, period, period. And you're able to identify the type of help that you need. So instead of going to the regular people that you go to that maybe can't resolve it or give you sound judgment and advice, go to the people that can. And that's what another message that I want to just encourage people with. It's okay to seek help outside of your standard circle, especially when you have identified this person has a message for that area of my life. And they can see clearly and help you navigate through it. It's worth investing in. And I told her, I said, I have a budget now. So yes, I'm putting you in it because it's that important to me to address these issues. And we got to make it that important for us as women, and the hair and the nails and all of that is great. But I have to have this budget to set aside to make sure that I'm good,
Yeah, inside and out. That you got to start inside first with your heart and your mind.
Yep.
Okay, how much lipstick and mascara you put on.
Yeah, you're right. I had to learn that the hard way. So
we all do. We all do daily. We are all learning daily.
Okay. So do you have a way that people can reach out to you through via social media or any contact information?
Or you can email me at queslwalker@gmail.com.
Okay, perfect. Well, thank you so much. I feel like this was a short conversation, but I feel like it's going to be very impactful. I pray that it does.
Yes.
And yes, thank you so much. And until next time, thank you all. I would love for you all to definitely, if you're looking for, someone to talk to address certain issues, that you definitely give Shaquania Walker a call and follow her, or just keep up with her, because I know she's going to be building and coming out with some things and dropping some gems and things like that. And I just want you all to be aware. Also, you can follow the Connect brand. That's Fatabulous Magazine, Pasco Connect Magazine, and Duval Connect Magazine. Two community publications addressing issues in the community. Check the description box below and click the link and subscribe by email so you can receive your copy by email for free for now. Okay. For now, you see, I'm learning my value. So the price is about to go up, then it's up, up, then it's up, then it's up, then it's up. Yep, it's about to go up. All right. Thank you guys. All right. Peace.